Hi all, Brandon, Senior Editor at Carryology, and today we're going to be looking at what we'd consider to be EVERGOODS' best everyday carry backpacks. Over the past few years, they've managed to develop an impressive collection of backpacks and accessories for essentially everyone and anyone. Today we'll mostly be talking about their Civic line with a few outliers, and those are bags designed to thrive in everyday urban environments with plenty of flexibility to call them crossover bags, something EVERGOODS has become synonymous with. As we get into finding the best bag for you, keep in mind we're not reviewing these bags today and we're not going to do a deep dive. If you want a closer, more in-depth look at each of these bags individually, check out our other videos or carryology.com. Another thing to note, EVERGOODS has released these bags in a variety of well-considered materials and colors over the years, with some small modifications over the life of the design. So I'm going to focus less on the smaller details like the various fabrics in each bag and more so on the bones and who each bag was built for. Let's start with the workhorse and arguably the most iconic bag in the EVERGOODS lineup, the CPL. The CPL, or Civic Panel Loader, was one of the original bags launched by EVERGOODS during their first Kickstarter in 2017. This is, in my opinion, the most versatile EDC bag in the lineup, and one I think you can feel comfortable using no matter your everyday use case. Unless you really need water bottle pockets, I'd have a hard time not recommending this bag as your first entry into the EVERGOODS world. The organization is simple yet really intuitive, with a vertical-oriented pocket along the front side, and it's not just a slash pocket, it has its own volume, which is a trend you'll see in all of these bags. Along the top side is a quick access pocket for your earbuds or keys, and along the rear side is a well-padded and raised laptop sleeve. The interior has two stash pockets on the front panel, again with their own volume, and a rear stretch sleeve for documents, a tablet, or anything else you want to throw in there. Up top, you have some webbing for stashing a pen or hanging your own pouches. The CPL 24 for me is my perfect backpack. I've had one since the very first Kickstarter release. I've been all over the world with mine, and it's the one bag I've used more than anything in my entire collection, all over its various releases. And it's also my answer to the question, if you could only have one bag, what would it be? So to round off the CPL 24 and its larger brother, the CPL 28, this is the correct bag for you if you don't have a very specific use case in mind, and you need the best dual bag with some room for tech. If you want to be able to travel, go to the office, or even hit the trail at a moment's notice, get the CPL. For sizing, if you're under 6 foot or don't carry a lot, I recommend the CPL 24. If you're looking to use this primarily for travel or on the taller side, or you just tend to carry a lot throughout your day, consider the 28. So as I've mentioned, the CPL 24 is my all-time favorite bag, but if you really need to dial it up to 11, that's when we want to look at the newer CTB 26. So CTB stands for Civic Travel Bag, but I think it belongs here as well. It's one of the latest and greatest offerings from EVERGOODS. First is a collaboration with Carryology as the Phoenix version 2, and then later is a full release by EVERGOODS as their standard material offerings, which is what we have here today. It's a slimmed down version of their larger CTB 35, definitely a dedicated travel bag. The 26 sits pretty as both a small travel bag or large EDC bag. It's that bag you can travel with and then use around town or the office without looking like you're traveling around Europe for the summer. It boasts most of the same features as the CPL, dedicated laptop sleeve, an interior document pocket with lashing points, and a similar front panel layout, just with a bit more complex patterning on the front, exterior, front side to add this additional quick access pocket. And last but not least, the CTB has bottle pockets. Right now, the CTB is probably the most popular and expensive bag in the EVERGOODS lineup, and for good reason. It's a jack of all trades, comes with a sleek exterior, thoughtful organization, and it's a true crossover bag for travel, hiking, or EDC. If you love the CPL but just want a bit more organization, even some different size offerings, the CTB is where you want to dig in. EVERGOODS really focuses on that crossover utility of their bags, and this is a shining example of that. Now, I know we hit with the big guns first, but for those not looking for that one pack to rule them all, EVERGOODS does have a few other options, especially if dedicated laptop carry isn't super high on your list. The Civic Half Zip, or Cheese, 22 and 26 are EVERGOODS' classic day pack offerings, and probably the most middle ground in their line of crossover packs. I think this bag is very close in versatility to the CPL series, but we do lose a dedicated laptop compartment, which could be fine for some. This is the bag you're using for quick trips into town, days out with the family, theme parks, and light hikes, all that stuff. I even have the Signal Blue variant set up as a diaper bag. I think both cheese packs stay more manageable in size than the CTB 26, despite the advertised capacity, while still adding water bottle pockets. Now, I don't typically need water bottle pockets on my EDC bags because I'm fine with tossing them in the main compartment. But if I'm hiking or traveling, to me, they're an absolute must, because for me, they also double as quick access. The cheese is the other side of the coin from the CPL. If your use case is more urban, office, or just tech-oriented, grab the CPL. Otherwise, cut the laptop compartment and grab the cheese. Now, just because there isn't a laptop compartment doesn't mean we can't carry one. Where the CPL and CTB have a simple stretch pocket on the interior, the cheese has a padded sleeve on the back wall. This still gives you a great place to carry a laptop or tablet. It's just going to be packed into the main compartment without dedicated access. The water bottle pockets are really well designed, like the CTB, staying slim and out of the way, but also able to accept full-size Nalgene's, slimmer bottles, and pretty much everything in between. The pocketing is familiar alongside the rest of the lineup, except we have this top pocket that's designed to act as a bit of a caddy when in use, which makes it great for propping up at a desk or at a picnic bench. And like its name implies, it is a half zip rather than a panel zip, which is what I prefer for a day pack. Full panel access is great for packing and unloading, especially when you have space to do so, but I find properly designed half zip bags like this one here to be much easier to access and stash on the go. There are two sizes here, and it's certainly worth considering both. The 22 is the original design, with the 26 coming a bit later with some improvements that also trickled back down into the 22. And similar to the CPL sizes, but unlike the CTBs, the size difference isn't so large that they have entirely different use cases. As a general rule of thumb, I'd say if you're above 6 foot, automatically grab this 26, but otherwise, it's just gonna be about what you carry in your day-to-day. PLC 20 might be the only backpack from EVERGOODS that, when they released it, seemed really out of left field to me, but in the best way possible. It's small, 20 liters is generous, but I find it closer to other 16 to 18 liter bags. And it's probably the only backpack that I'd not really consider a crossover pack. If I had to put it into words, which I do, it's a small office or light tech oriented backpack. I actually really like the internal organization panel on the back wall. It's got room for both a laptop and tablet and a pen or a stylus. And thanks to the slightly swooped back zipper, it's still really easy to access. I'd be happy for this design to make its way into any other bags in the lineup. It's really that good. The PLC 20 is also the first and currently the only bag to incorporate EVERGOODS' light harness, which maintains the general shape and overall feel of this harness, but cuts away some of the fat as well as the more prominent curvature to the top panel of the harness. It's still a super comfortable bag, the harness is just more appropriate for its size. There's not much more to say about the PLC 20 in this context. If you're in need of a smaller backpack for your everyday office or cafe carry, but don't want to carry a shoulder bag or a briefcase, the PLC 20 is a great place to look. Last up, we've got the MPL or Mountain Panel Loader series. Coming in at 22 and 30 liters, these are technically part of the Mountain line of EVERGOODS products, but they're absolutely worth mentioning here because who am I to assume what your everyday carry needs are? These were designed for the trail, but can absolutely adapt to your everyday needs. They both focus on rapid, quick access for your important items, and they attempt to leverage larger compartments for your bulkier items like gloves or jackets. Unlike the other EVERGOODS offerings, the size differences here are more than just a size difference. These bags are similar, but just by looking at them, you can tell they're different. The 22 is the newer offering, and while the 30 may eventually be updated to incorporate some of its differences, that's not the case right now. The 22 and 30 are both great day packs, but the 30 leverages not just a larger space, but an overall deeper space, which keeps your gear well balanced on your back without having to worry about a slimmer silhouette for more urban settings. It also has dual compression straps, which you can use for their intended use case of compression or to lash taller items like trekking poles or tripods. Now, if you don't need the extra space or just hate all the straps of the MPL 30, the new MPL 22 is an absolute knockout. I've been carrying it weekly since it was released, and it's really a pleasure to use. Plenty of quick access, great harness, and plenty of space for even a winter hike if you're not going too far from your vehicle or home. We've still got a document sleeve on the back wall here for use with a laptop or tablet in a pinch, and that doubles as a water bladder sleeve as well. I didn't mention this on any of the other bags because I honestly don't see this feature used very often, but EVERGOODS has this ingenious integrated hydration port if that's important to you. If you're in a more rural area or are never carrying tech for work or just want a killer hiking bag, then both MPLs can do all that for you and then some if necessary. Personally, I use every single bag I've mentioned here depending on my day. I think they're all worthwhile and none really stand above the other. They all stand together as intended by EVERGOODS. Yes, they're all crossover bags, but each backpack in their lineup has an intended user. And I hope I've helped you nail that down today. Hit the comments for questions. Please like and subscribe. It really helps us out, and thanks for watching.